she's a co-working marketing badass is what she is.
She totally is. Well, that I knew. I was just trying to, go down a level on the intro.
Here's the reality. People do we know in this industry that have been in the industry as long as she has been, and we're not going to age her, but who was original OG Regus, who's helped start up multiple companies, who has gone the franchise route and is now on the international side in what I think London is the co-working capital of the world, right? I mean, so that's a big part of what I told Andrea I wanted to talk about is, you've been stateside for a long time. So is it the reality that it is the co-working mecca, right? And they are that far ahead of us. And so, I think that's a big part that I want to jump into is really not just her background, but then also understanding how's her, I guess you're going on 6 months at NewFlex?
Yeah. 6
Wait,
months.
and also NewFlex runs like a managed services model. Is that right?
Yeah.
How would you describe it? Okay. So that's also new.
Differentiation. Yeah. So that's new. Yeah. So I don't know, where do you want me to, gosh, the question was, what the heck am I doing? Yeah.
Well, first of all, let's start with your background, right? I think it's important to lead up to that. But when we say OG, and people say Jamie's an OG, I'm not.
Well, right? Yeah, exactly.
But Andrea, you've probably got years on Jamie as far as experience in the industry.
22 years, 23 years in the category. And I always say my husband only thinks I'm, 25. So please, let's not share that with him. But 22 years in the category. And it's extraordinary, right? Because we're things that are coming that everybody said that we were crazy to want, crazy to ask for, crazy to project, making office space as transactional as a hotel room, having asset owners believe and truly embrace flex as an amenity, as a key point of differentiation, with their building. Everything that we talked about is coming to fruition, and we're all benefiting. I'm sorry for all that happened with COVID, but we truly are all benefiting from the spark of COVID, just like we benefited from the spark of the Great Recession. Turbulent times drives our category. So 22 or 23 years.
Wait, I have a question I want to interject here, though. So I feel like at some point you might have been like, I might take a break. Are you reinvigorated by what's happening now? Like, what's your feelings for Flex? And because 22 years is a long time.
Well, yeah, and you're absolutely right. I when you asked me, you were like, well, tell me, one of the things that you wanted to talk about was my background. And I realized, I was like, everything that I've ever done in my career is fueled only by boredom. That's it. If I look at every career change that I've ever made, it's been because I've been bored. And I thrive on disruption. So when I left Regus, after being there for 6 years, it was because we had opened new markets, we had launched new products, we had gone through an IPO, acquired Stratus, which is now, the predecessor to John Arenas's company. We had gone through bankruptcy, and we acquired our largest competitor, doubling
all this in 6 years.
Overnight. All this in 6 years, and none of us had ever done it.
Not at all.
And then all of a sudden, I'm like head of marketing, reporting to the CEO, and I'm steering $1 billion ship. And I'm like, wow, this is wildly uninteresting. And I left the category. I left for nothing. I bought and flipped a house. I didn't know what I was going to do. And then I was, lured back in, but there was really nothing for me at the time because the category was so fragmented. So there was nobody who was large enough to bring me, or quite frankly, interesting enough to bring me on board. And so I just worked for everybody. And that was interesting because I was helping smaller flex operators, or at the time that was executive suites, a lot of what you're doing, Jamie, is bringing them up into where they need to be to operate and to thrive in this environment. So that was kind of cool for a period of time. But then that became rather boring also, because how many times can you do that? So now I'm a little bit out of my league. I'm working with crazy smart people who, quite frankly, I'm now the CEO of my company is Steve Jude, and he was the worldwide sales and marketing person at Regus, chief commercial officer at Regus. And when he called me up, and he's an incredible innovator, and when he called me up and he was like, "What are you doing?" And I said to my husband, this is either a dream because he wants me to come work for him, or he's like, just wants to shoot the shit. And so the dream came true. That's probably corny, but we're doing some pretty cool things in the category.
Well, tell us, for everyone listening and including myself. Yeah, go a level deeper on the company and what you're up to.
So NewFlex is really neat because nobody's really heard of the NewFlex brand per se, right? But it's really all about going into asset owners and landlords and kind of going in with brand agnostic with the flex solution. So listening to what their needs are and then prescribing a flex solution. So that flex solution could be a white label. So at 22 Bishopsgate, the renowned 22 Bishopsgate, which is the largest, the tallest building in all of Europe, but for that other building that I can't remember the name of that has a spire. So it's the tallest occupied building. So AXA, who's came to us and they were like, well, we're building this ecosystem. This is dreamy. Like I was going to
say, totally, I can see why.
Right? Yeah. This is like so cool.
Like the intellectual concepts we talk about and somebody's doing it.
And somebody, right?
And you get to work on it.
Do this yet. And yes, so they're like, yeah, we have a gym and we have a marketplace and we have, a yoga studio and a wellness, and, there's going to be meeting space. And we want you to be the space to run and manage a membership space. It's all about knowledge sharing and the exchange of ideas and content creation and exchange. We're going to call it the exchange. Would you like to manage it? Okay. So that's a white label solution. Or if, we have a solution for I don't want to call it a store, but an economy brand. So we have the master franchise license for Easy Hub. So I don't know if you know the Easy family of brands, Easy Jet, Easy Hotel, Easy Cars. They have a 99% brand awareness in Europe because Easy Jet is like the cost effective airline that everybody uses. So we're now, that is one solution. So, or Serendipity Labs, we're opening up a Serendipity Lab. So we have a 4-star solution, and City Base, which is our flag store brand. So we go in and we say, hey, listen, what do you want? What's the value that you want to unleash in this asset? Where do you feel the opportunity is? And then we prescribe the flex brand or the flex solution that meets their needs.
So sometimes you operate, but sometimes you just place the brand.
We always operate.
You always operate. So even in the Serendipity example, you bring that concept and that brand in, but you are operating it. Like
obviously Serendipity will be very involved in that operation, but yes, we will. It's a management agreement. Yeah. So we manage that brand. Yep. In the UK.
So it's much like a hospitality group, right? Runs a hotel with a management contract and on behalf of the owner. It's just with the different brand or flag, if you will, right? Depending on who you think is the best one.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. And we have done about more than 80 management deals over the last, 10 to 15 years. So this is like in our DNA.
So what is, obviously you're super passionate about everything you're talking about, but what is the most exciting part that keeps you going right now, right? It'll be something different tomorrow when you get bored of this one, but what's it today?
Truly, it's the team, because it's the team. The core team are a bunch of people from the early days, from 20 years ago, who had already established that vision of, hey, we're going to put, enterprise is going to put 20% of their property portfolio in flex space. And yes, we're going to make office spaces transactional as a hotel. And yes, while only 1% of knowledge workers right now can make a workspace decision, ultimately, everybody's going to make a workspace decision, and we want our brand in their pockets. So this core team, quite frankly, had already been building that, already drank the Kool-Aid, already knew how to compete in turbulent markets where you're, in boom times. And so right now we're springboarding off of that, and we are looking for, we're expanding rapidly. We're expanding into new markets and new territories. We own a web broker, Officio. And so we're looking at that vertical, integration and what that means to the whole offering. So the most exciting thing that I think that I'm working on is supporting the development and expansion of putting more dots on the map